So recently, I've been asking for feedback from my first video, and someone recommended me to get a new mic and use a different video editor. And currently, I'm using VSDC, which, as of the making of the script, I still have to use. On my way back to school, I was wondering on what to do for the next video, and I thought of some similarities between Halo 3 and Fortnite in terms of the customs. I made a questionnaire which won't be needed now, and I sent it to that person to see if they wanted access. They were confused, and when I tried to explain my point, they understood it but respectfully disagreed with it. Now I see why someone might say that it is probably because of how at base level is very disagreeable, but on a complex level there are some similarities. So I thought I must explain this further in a video. So that point kept on morphing as I was making the script, and now guess what the point is? Unless you've read the title, is that I see Fortnite as a great game that has amazing potential. From an outsider's perspective, this might be a weird point in Heresy of the Greatest Order. I know a lot of people hate Fortnite on the internet, but please grow the hell up. You might not like it, and I do not like it, but this game will give nostalgia for today's generation for a lifetime. You look at the Travis Scott event and the Marshmallow event, which, judging on the scale of them, is fair to say it is going to be memorable and definitely have an impact on the relationship between the music world and the video game world. Now, I want you to imagine that, but in 2012 for Reach, but for someone like Kid Cudi instead of Travis Scott. This would fit in well considering that Reach is based around hope. Kid Cudi's music gives that feeling. Anyways, let's move on from that waffle. I don't think I mentioned this, but I don't forge at all, so I might get some stuff wrong about that. And also, I like to end the paragraph with the fact that I played Fortnite actively. Last time I played Fortnite actively was during Chapter 1, Season 6. So I've resorted to Google searches for some of the answers, and for Halo, I think I've watched enough videos and played enough custom games to know what I'm talking about. So, first up, we have Bungie favorites. For the uneducated, Bungie had the system called Bungie favorites, where if your map or screenshot or clip passed through enough hands to reach Bungie, you could get on Bungie favorites, which was basically a feature tab on the Halo 3. This has allowed new creators to shine while scaling more maps to the average player to get with their friends and play some new custom games. Now, if you got to this, you would get the Recon helmet, which popped up out of nowhere in the Halo community, and there was lots of trolling, which led to things like walking around a sand trap about 50 times. So eventually it was discovered that you had to be handpicked by Bungie themselves to get it. This was until ODST's launch, where you simply had to do the difficult Vidmasters challenges. Now, what sort of system is there in Fortnite? If you go up for creative, there's polls where featured maps are added, which judging by my experience, it only takes about a minute to get into a match in them. They are also featured on a message of the day type system whenever you log in. Also, another thing before I leave, there was this one point in Fortnite where in the map there was this thing called the block, where specific maps on the template were created and put in the game. I must applaud Epic on this as it allows separation between competitive maps and casual maps, and has the player coming back not only for new changes, but to learn a new hotspot which may be viable, especially towards the later stage of the match. Quick question. Now, why did you guys remove this? Now I've stated what Epic has done. There's only one flaw with this system: motivation. With the Halo 3 days, not only did Bungie feature the maps, they also rewarded the players. The Recon helmet was a major reward. Ask anyone from the Halo 3 days and they'll tell you how satisfying it was to do the Vidmaster challenges, or better yet, get into the favourites. Considering lots of the fanbase sees a lot of value with the system, with there being such items as the Renegade Raider, many people are willing to buy accounts with them on. If we include a reward, this gets more and more people into the map making ecosystem and gets more and more created maps and modes in. Not to say the fan base doesn't care, it will just help. Just please add a skin, and when finally this skin loses value or this life cycle is over, just drop it with some really hard challenges to do. Quick note, Fortnite does actually reward its players. One example I can think of is back in Chapter 1 Season 4. At tier 100, it included the Omega skin, which looked sick on its own and was hard to get, but there are actually challenges which upgraded it and made it look way better. It also rewarded players who thought they reached at the end of the journey when a better goal was only seen as a result. There was also a mystery skin, which was hyped on via loading screens and hints on the map. This creates a lot of tension and hype surrounding it. Now, on to my next point. In Halo 3, it has a very simple file share system, with you simply having to look up someone's name tag and finding the map. After you played the lobby, you could just go to the host file share to download it. Now in Fortnite, first you make your map, and then you get a code. Don't put it on file share, which is perfectly simple. No, in capitalist Utopia, we put in a 16-digit code. Obviously, for backwards compatibility's sake, keep the codes. It's just way too overcomplicated to go forward with. Well, I will say that Fortnite's map maker is better than Halo 3 in my experience. Yeah, it seems that it's heresy, but listen. It has full-on map making like Reach whilst not being as difficult as Halo 5 and as restricting as Halo 3. It hits a balance. It also includes one thing, optional PvE moments. It currently has variants of zombies for now, but with any form of PvE, this allows for a lot of potential for the map makers. I believe this type of system should be included for Halo Infinite. Whilst making this video, I've realized one big similarity between these two games. The thing is that these games were able to translate into video games as a medium and reach people who were non-gamers. You look at the Believe campaign and get you in the fields. Now, the custom games in Halo 3, people were talking about it at school and reminiscing only to do it all over again. With Fortnite, nothing can really beat the Believe campaign, but the custom games are still there, and to match up with the Believe campaign, they have big events sprinkled around. Like again, the Travis Scott event that got even non-Fortnite fans to download the game just to see the event, to see if there was a new song, and they could get interested into the game itself by pulling people into the ecosystem. Fortnite's map is constantly evolving, with the story of the map creating hype for the next major event in the story, for the next evolution of Fortnite. This is what I believe to be their goal in the mind, blowing minds and therefore creating nostalgia. However, back 13 years ago, when Bungie realized the potential of Forge, they made maps which sure could be played competitively and casually, but mostly were just used for forging. I think that the whole creative mode has some potential to be amazing, but the reason why people remember Forge fondly was not because it was a great tool to make maps, it was because of the nostalgia of these events, because of the fun you used to have in these games with your friends or strangers. It does not matter how, it matters that you have memories to carry and have nostalgia to carry for decades. Halo 3 set a template which prioritized for players to be creative and make memories with their own creations. Now there's a new one set in Fortnite, telling the games industry to give the place you play emotion and feeling and evolve it to make the events more and more important. Make them care whether it be a black hole, whether it be a meteor. Good night.